fire signs. We're doing fire signs love reading right now. Um, yeah, I'm using the Llewellyn deck, and I'm going to use a layout with this is your energy. This is your person's energy. If you don't know the person, we'll find out, but this is a person's energy, and this is the energy of the connection. Okay, so that's what we're reading today. So let's see where this goes. So this is for the fire signs. I will be doing an extended reading on the energy of the connection. And so because this is a general reading for fire signs, it probably won't relate to everyone, and I'm sure it won't. But if it does resonate for you, then I would advise looking at the extended reading, and the information for that is in the box below, because I will be expanding the connection side of things. All right, so, and this is like gender fluid, okay? So let's just start. So fire signs, we're getting your energy. We've got the Tower, the Ten of Wands, the Devil, and the King of Pentacles. Interesting combination here. Let's see what we've got going here. Okay, the Tower. So I kind of feel like as you're moving forward on this path towards a connection, a love connection, it's really important to not become part of any kind of internal conflict, because right now the universe is really doing its best to begin to break down a lot of the blocks that you may have and have had out of defense. Okay, so we go through life, we get our hearts broken, etc., and then we kind of begin, even unconsciously, somewhat consciously, but a lot unconsciously, to kind of build defenses within us. And it can be through our use of language, it can be our perceptions, it can be something that was passed on to us even by past generations, or even by our own generation. So we begin to build these kinds of whatever it is that will keep us away from being hurt, so defenses. And then we can even use that, as I say, in our language with each other. And I think one of the defenses that I see here is this kind of ideology or idealistic, immature kind of version of love, in that this, love is innocent and joyous, and spiritual connection between us, and it's like a dance that we do with each other, and that kind of thing. And although on a higher principled level, I probably agree with that maybe the essence of love is that, but we're looking at relationship connection here. So what I'm suggesting here is the Tower is now coming in to begin to break some of that. It's almost like a mantra, okay? It's like a mantra language that has been with you and serving you since childhood, basically, since you first, even conceived of a love connection with another being, especially romantic love, I would say. All right, then we've got the Ten of Wands coming here, and let's take a look at that. So with the Ten of Wands, fire signs, what I've got is there has been a lot. I mean, it's like, okay, that was then, and I saw that more like a young teenager kind of, belief system. And as I say, it's been, and then building a foundation on that as though that was the truth, okay? And maybe as a teenager, that foundation, kind of served well, but it is keeping you now into a defensive mode and keeping you from moving on, as I can see with this Knight of Wands, this journey towards love. Then we got the Ten of Wands, the Temperance, and the Judgment card. So the Ten of Wands, I think, is now at this place no longer a teenager, a grown-up kind of love. And it doesn't matter what sex you are, what age you are. I'm talking about grown-up in terms of developing a different language, or a different, more of a How can I put this? I think you know what I mean when I say an adult, kind of not a fantasy, but more realistic. Because now maybe at this point you've been through a fair amount of relationships, and you've discovered things about yourself, and you've done a lot of growing as a result of that. And that's where the Ten of Wands comes in. There's a lot of growing that has then given you privy, or at least the key, I guess, to unlocking some of the deeper truths that are within your soul level of emotional, spiritual energy that's within you. And then, as I say, a lot of that, a lot of that kind of revelation can come through dreams. It can come through the subconscious. We can ask for it, and a lot of times it kind of comes through our intuition, that kind of knowingness. It's not something you can go out and study in a book, in other words. I think it's just a knowingness that this is, that comes to people when they get to a certain level of growth and development, and they're honestly looking for where they can find love in their life. Then we've got the Devil showing up here, and let's check that out. So we've got the Knight of Swords and the Justice card. And the Nine of Swords. Okay, so with the Devil card showing up there, because now we've got you sort of combating illusions, okay? So the Devil card, that can create fear. And sometimes when fear is created, what we tend to do sometimes is move really quickly into a situation thinking that it was meant for us, that somehow the universe provided, this is the person that was meant for me, I just know this and I'm madly in love with them, and let's move in together and let's get married. You know what I mean? So commitment comes very quickly, and that's another form of fear intervening. So it's another defense. So as much as defense can come through kind of fantasies or whatever, defense can also come through us misinterpreting and moving too quickly on it, and then creating a lot of anxiety. Now, inevitably, all of the above here lead to the King of Pentacles, which is knowledge, okay? And I've got the Eight of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles showing up here. So this is a combination of knowledge so that we learn, in other words, we kind of learn through experience. We experience through phases. And through phases, we build these different constructs that we at that point in time assume is true. And then we act on it with the truth that we know at that point in time. As I say, we move in quickly. It's like, oh, the universe has brought me this person, we're meant to be together, etc., etc. But that could be coming from the wrong source. That could be coming from fear and not from the heart, okay? But inevitably, as I said, that brings us truth. So truth in our divine masculine and our divine feminine. Truth in how that brings knowledge to us to develop and grow in both of those areas in us, because both those areas combined create connection, because one represents divine masculine, as I say. So this is getting to a certain place with knowledge where now you kind of go like, okay, on both parts of me, I feel much more ready to understand or to move into a connection with another person, okay, on a heart level. I don't mean friends, family, whatever. I'm talking, this is romantic love here. All right, and at that point, I think then with the Eight of Cups showing up here, it's probably time to proceed and follow what you now know and leave behind all of this, okay? Because this was only the process that got you here, all right? So let's go on then. This is there, so that's how I see your process. And what I'm getting here, because I never know what I'm going to get when I do these readings, right? What I'm getting here is this has been your process in terms of being ready for that connection with another person, okay? Now this is your person's process. So this person has also been looking for love for a long time. and not found it, but always sensed it was there. Had a feeling, had a sense that there's something more that, kind of wandering through, the cold, feeling like I'm always going to be alone. I'm never going to connect. I'm never going to find this true connection, but somehow still keeping it alive somewhere, and hoping. And that's the Nine of Cups showing up there. So there was still, okay, you know what I'm going to say here? I'm just sorry guys, but I'm looking at this and I'm thinking this is both your processes put together. So this isn't yours and this is theirs. I kind of see this as both of yours because I see it as a next step as to how I'm going, okay? So this is the step of going out, as I said, and following, knowing that there's something more out there and following it. And that's what I see here. Okay, so let's read this as though it's all one and that it's all relevant to you and your person. And then this will be the connection, okay? All right, so what I see here then is that, okay, so now you know both of you have left all of the past behind, the process that got you here behind. And now sort of looking at, I always felt like there was something, that seed was always kept alive in me, even though I was wandering, looking and never finding, that kind of thing. And now it's connecting with heart's desire versus the programming or the indoctrination or the myth or whatever you want to call that. And that's where I see the Nine of Cups showing up. And the next part of that, then, with the Nine of Cups showing up, which is, like I say, your true heart's desire, is now being able to share that with another person. So there you are, ready for connection at this place, ready to share your heart's desire with another person. And kind of always knowing that there was more. Then we've got the Hangman showing up. We've got the Nine of Pentacles and the Hierophant. So the next stage for both of you individually was perspective shift. So feeling like you had been sort of held back for a long time and not maybe always knowing why, but now maybe looking at it from this perspective, it shifted your perspective in terms of what the process to being able to be ready for love looks like or feels like, because you've experienced it, right? You just maybe you didn't look at these experiences that way, you didn't frame them that way. And that's what I see the Hangman doing. The Hangman is framing this past history into a perspective that has now shifted your reality, shifted what you now embody and what you put out to the universe, so that then the laws of attraction can work. And the laws of attraction will then bring somebody that's, at the same place, on the same path kind of idea. And that's what the Nine of Pentacles is showing up here. So feeling very confident, still single, still on your own, but really seeing who you are, what you have to offer to a relationship, what you desire, what your heart's desire is from this point on, but feeling very empowered and confident in your own right, in your divine feminine or divine masculine energies, especially in your divine feminine energies, because we're talking about love here, okay? Then we've got the Hierophant, ready for commitment, ready for the true connection between two people, the Hierophant. So ready for connection, ready for commitment. And now you're ready for the next stage, the next path in your life, which is moving towards connection. And then we've got the Ace of Wands showing up here. So this is the next path, and the Moon and the Five of Wands. So remember I said back here is being ready to move in and kind of investigate what you discovered back here that were much deeper value, much deeper soul energies, much deeper passion than you had previously thought as a teenager. So that was part of your process. Now with this new path, the light is shining on that. So that is all in you now and available for you as you start to move then forward this way and that way kind of thing, right? How does this incorporate now into my path towards connection? And that's what I see happening here with the Five of Wands. Then we've got the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups is the readiment of, now this isn't male or female, but the readiness for love and commitment. So sort of at that place now. So all this has come together here. The next, we've got the Ten of Cups, okay? So the Ten of Cups, we've got the Six of Cups and the universe. So all this process here manifests now in having that type of connection that you're ready for, which is full on, long-term, with your soulmate, building something out of love, a family, children, an environment, a world, a universe. So building all of that from this grown place of embodying, the nature of love, then manifesting it in the outside world into that kind of connection with another being. You've got the universe here, so that was the end of that cycle. This is now the beginning. So this Ten of Cups, although it's the end of, it's a 10, is actually the beginning of the cycle of connection now, because we've got the universe here. So, this is cool. I didn't expect this reading, but there you go. All right, now we've got the connections. We've got the Queen of Swords, the Six of Wands, the Page of Wands. So it's only just begun, and we're kind of on the track now together of a connection, and we're kind of looking at it very critically at this point in terms of discernment, right? Not just assuming like we did back here that, oh, the universe brought me this because that's what I'm attracted to and I'm madly in love with him, so let's get married, kind of thing. This is a lot more based on testing, to test the connection, to see if in fact it is the right one that's attracted to you and the right one you're attracted to, and waiting for messages to come to show that to you. So it's kind of like, as we get older, we don't automatically trust everyone, but we build trust. And that building of trust is what cements a connection with another person. So it's kind of similar here, because that's why we got hurt so much in the past, because we were operating on a much kind of different level, lack of like all the knowledge that brought. We didn't know that yet, so we got hurt, and that's over now, right? Because this is about the Ten of Cups. And the Ten of Cups isn't about hurting or getting hurt. The Ten of Cups is about longevity. It's about permanence with the soulmate. And this is the truth of a connection. And this cycle is ended, and that's why we've got the Death card. So not only is this the rebirth of the new connection, but it's also the ending of the pain and the kind of process that got us here. Now is the time for transformation. Now this is transforming, because you've transformed, your connections will transform as well. And this is where I think this connection is coming to. It's leading fire signs. So the connection you're moving into, fire signs, looks to me like it's going to be a very magical, transformative connection. When I say transformative, I mean the connection itself is transformed. So it's not going to be like the past where, as I say, you got hurt and, you were defensive and all that stuff. This is going to be completely different now, because the divine feminine, which is, the love part, our heart and our spiritual connection, is on its path now, its rightful path, okay? And the Fool is the beginning of this new journey, coming from this perspective and this path, which leads to, as I say, transformation of a relationship, which leads to the Ten of Cups, which is where you were heading. Okay, now we've got the Two of Swords showing up and the Two of Wands. So incorporating, once again, like we did here, incorporating, the swords, the thinking process, and incorporating our intuition and our kind of, cosmic connection process. So incorporating those two from now on in terms of where we go with this journey. Because in this next part, on this path that now is set, is kind of, we're in connection with divine, it requires us to be active participants in this, in all of our humanness. And that's what I'm getting here. So in all your humanness, using your mind and your what you've learned that way, and using your intuition and what you've kind of grown to learn that way in terms of moving on this path, and not being afraid. We've got the Eight of Swords down here, not letting anything get in your way. And then we've got the Page of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. So this is the big knowledge that's being presented in this connection now, is to take your time. We got the Page of Swords, like don't let things stand in your way, but use all elements of you. Go for, and wait and see what happens. And as things progress, you progress. And eventually, the success will be there. Okay, because that's what this is leading to. That's what's being offered here, is the knowledge towards the success of how to build this connection that you are now or will be in. All right. I'm just going to draw a card from the Wisdom of Avalon, and look what we got. Love. So my guess is that's what we've been doing here. We've been looking at love and how love can manifest into a true connection based on exactly love. All right, fire signs, thanks for going with me on this. I had no idea this was coming up, but here we go. You just never know. I always think what's going to come up, I trust it, that, it's the right thing at the right time. So with this connection now, as I say, I'm going to do a extended reading and see where that translates, okay? And how that brings both of you into what this relationship will actually look like. 'Cause this is kind of moving now into this place of this would be almost like proposal. That's what I see that as. Is now we can move ahead. This is like a proposal for commitment and marriage. All right, let's take a look at it in the extended reading, and thanks for going through this, and we'll see you next week.